What's good, everybody? Welcome to Box Seats. If you know me, you know who I am and the team I support. Don't mind my hair. I'm even fidgeting with it a lot. I'm taking my hair down, and I'm going to wash my hair. But I had to talk about this before I did anything, and I had to go to physical therapy today. But I'm here to talk about what's been going on with Real Madrid for the past couple of days, actually all season. I was telling people about Real Madrid and their issues. I was telling them it's not a coach thing. And I was also saying Mbappe is not the only problem at Real Madrid. It's really the whole team. I was telling people it's the whole team. If you played organized sports, any type of organized sports, you know this. When it comes to the coach, the only thing the coach can really do is tell you what to do, in the sense of prepare you for the matches ahead. That's all the coach can do. When it comes to the players being on the pitch, you can't blame the coaches after that, because the coaches aren't the ones on the pitch. If a coach is telling you to do certain things and the players don't want to execute those actions, how can you still continue to blame the coach? I was telling people, I was like, Xabi Alonso is not the cause of what's going on in Real Madrid, because Xabi Alonso wasn't there last season. Ancelotti was there last season. What happened? Ancelotti left, the same thing is going on. People want to say it's Mbappe. Mbappe is part of the reason, yes, because of how he plays. But the reason why I don't completely blame Mbappe is because, number one, he's playing out of position. No matter how great of a player Mbappe is, he's not a number 9. He's not a striker. When he receives the ball, he's going to do what a winger does. It's going to come natural to him. What do wingers do when they collect the ball? The first thing they try to do is they want to be in space, and they want to deal with things in space. They want to they want to have one-on-one matchups. But if you're in the middle of the pitch, it's hard for you to do that. So yes, Mbappe is part of the reason, but at the same time, I can't completely blame him. But he is part of the reason. Vinny is part of the reason, because as somebody that has been there for so long, and you know how everything works, you know what the badge represents, you know what Real Madrid represents, and you still are going around. As a player, I like Vinny. I do like Vinny. He's helped us in situations where he comes up out of the blue and he'll just make something happen. Do I wish it was something that was consistent? Yes. Do I wish that he was the type of player that could boss a game from beginning to end? Yes. But when he has those, he'll give you maybe about a good between 15 to 20 minutes of good gameplay, and then the rest of the games and the rest of the match, you don't see him. But for those 15 to 20 minutes, he puts his heart up on the sleeve and he does all he can. Another thing is also other players. Rudiger has been an issue. You can't go around slapping players. You can't do that, and you can't do that to your coaching. You can't do that to coaching staff either, because it's showing that you show lack of respect for your coaching staff. You can't. Then we also have Carreras. Before I even get to Carreras, let me get to Carvajal. Carvajal is supposed to be the captain, the big guy of our team, and he didn't show any of that. He did not show any of that this season. Yes, I get that you came back from a horrific injury. I believe it was you tore your ACL, because I still remember that. I still remember how it happened. You were trying to kick the ball, guy came, bop. I mean, horrific injury. But You haven't been the same since you've come back from injury. Is it maybe it's because you haven't gotten enough time, but the times that you've been on the pitch, you look like a shell of yourself. And I get that you want to be in the World Cup representing your country, because most likely this is the last time you're going to get the opportunity to do so. So you want to be able to be there in the World Cup to participate with your country. I get it. But the club, I'm going to say it might sound harsh, but the club comes first. You play more for the club than you do for your country. If you so happen not to make it, I'm sorry. But you should be playing to help your team while you're playing. The World Cup should not be in the front of your in the frontal part of your lobe at this point in time. It should actually be how or in what ways can I help my team to win? And you didn't do that. You're making fun of Alexander Trent, which I get it, because you believe you should be starting over Trent because Trent is not really that good defensively. He doesn't really track back as much as you would want him to. But when you're, like I said, when you're on the pitch, there were games where I saw you get on the pitch and you didn't even start. You came in in the second half, and when you came in and you got terrorized. I can't remember which team you played, but you came in the second half and you got so abused on the pitch that you're one of the reasons why they ended up scoring and we ended up losing that game. I can't remember which. I'll have to go back and check, because I don't want to take too much time. But you weren't showing leadership, and then you came out and said you're not going to be playing for Real Madrid anymore for the rest of the season, this is most likely your last season anyway. But that's not showing leadership. Ceballos is another one. You can't go out and condemn your coach. And the people that have really had the most issues with Arbeloa are the Spanish players. I mean, Carreras is another one. He feels like he's been slighted, but your form is dipped. I believe your form was better under Xabi Alonso because of the way that Xabi Alonso was playing, like had the team playing. But you have not been consistent in your gameplay. And so, to be honest with you, Fran Garcia's been having a better time recently in recent form. The only reason Fran Garcia is even getting playing time is because of Mendy. Mendy just can't stay injured. I've been hearing rumors about him possibly retiring. At this point, I think he should. I mean, and the person after him is going to most likely be Militao, because he can't even stay injured. He comes back. Every time he comes back from injury, he gets injured also, too. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with Real Madrid that I just don't like. I would say this might be the worst that I've ever in my life seen Real Madrid. This is the worst I've ever seen Real Madrid. The worst. And another thing to point out is we want to blame one person. Yes, I'm hearing that, oh yeah, people want Mbappe gone. But it's not just Mbappe. There are people that are saying they want Vinicius gone. Then there are also polls saying that they want both Vinicius and Mbappe gone. So I don't like how people are just coming after one person. Let's at least be consistent about everything that's going on. Vinny hasn't been playing well. Vinny has not been playing well. Yeah, he has moments, but I would rather have a player that can boss a game from beginning to end than a player that's going to pop up. In certain situations. But the person that I'm going to really blame, the person that really deserves 100% of the blame, 100% on the blame. If I'm going to go down to it, I would say the coaches, I would give maybe like 20. I'll give the coaches and the coaching staff maybe like 10 to 15% of the blame. I'll give Mbappe about a good 30, maybe 35. Vinny, I would give about I'm just going to put Vinny with the rest of the team. I'll give the whole team about a good another 10 to 15%. But the person that deserves a majority of the blame, shoot, if I could just do a separate case of who deserves 100% of the blame, is Perez. Perez deserves all the blame. All of the issues that are going on with Real Madrid right now is because of Perez. It's because of Perez. And the reason I say that is it's a plethora of reasons. So I'm just going to say a couple. Number one, you constantly show everybody, not just your players, but you show everybody in the world that the coaches have no authority. The coaches are just there just as a face, and that's all they are. They're just a face. Number one. Number two, and this is going to sound bad, but don't take it how it sounds, but you let the inmates run the asylum. You spoiled it. You have spoiled these players to the extent where nobody can tell them anything. You would never see two players getting into a altercation so bad that one is sent to the hospital because of the altercation, and next you know, I don't know specifically. All I know is that Valverde fell over, hit his head, and he got busted open, and he was losing consciousness, and he's lost some of his memory. That shows you how much power you've given these players, to the extent that they don't even believe that in front of their coach they have to show respect. You would never see players fighting in front of Pep Guardiola. You would never see players fighting like that in front of Hansi Flick. You would never see players fighting like that in front of Jose Mourinho. You would never see, like, Florentino Perez has really just destroyed this team, because you allowed these players to dictate everything that goes on, from the time they get onto the pitch to the time that they step off the pitch. Actually, even when they step off the pitch, because yes, Mbappe left, and as people were talking about it, I started to realize, yeah, Mbappe leaving was bad. He's not the only player to do it, but it's the time in which that he left. He shouldn't have left at this time, when things are going so badly. Because Militao did it, I think, last year, not last season, this season, but last year he did it. Jude Bellingham wasn't around because he was injured in the beginning of the season. But where we're at the end, when we're in the crunch time of the season and things are just, and you're out with your girlfriend, you allowed this, Perez. You allowed this. You did not put your foot down. You allowed these players to do whatever they wanted to do. You emasculated all the coaches. You emasculated all the coaches. And you allowed these players to run things. And I knew it was the end, especially when Vinny stormed off that pitch the way he did against Barcelona in the first leg, at the earlier stages of the season, and you did nothing about it. You did nothing about it. You handicap your coaches so bad, because people were saying that, oh, Real Madrid, they don't need a tactician as for a coach. All you have to do is just let them go out there and play. I was saying no, because if you could tell from last year, that's not this type of team. Because That's always been Ancelotti's thing. He will set you up defensively, and then he'll say, "Hey, go out there. Once you guys get the ball, run. Just go out there and do you and get it out there." Do you know the difference? I've had discussions with people on the pod. I've had discussions like this with people on the pod, and they tell me, players now are better than the players back then, and I still don't believe that. They might be more athletic, but they're not better. Those are two different things. Better is what Real Madrid did with our three-peat. Only thing Zidane really did, put him in certain positions just to be great. But when it came to making decisions and breaking down defenses and everything, they had the IQ. They had a crazy IQ. These players, and I'm not even going to talk about other players. I'm just talking about Real Madrid. These players don't have that type of IQ. That's why it's so hard for Real Madrid to break down lower blocks. That's why it's so hard think about it. If our three-peats, the down three-peat, Real Madrid, were playing against lower blocks like the ones that we've been playing against so far, do you think we would be drawing and losing games the way we're losing them? Do you think we'll be struggling the way that we're struggling? No. It's because the players we have don't have that type of intellect. These players need structure. These players need a coach that's going to tell them what to do and sit them down when they're disruptive. You see, people think that, I know the game is soft because now everybody cries over every small thing. I get it. Like, an example, and this is going to sound so bad. An example is the whole thing with Vinny. Vinny is not the first player to go through racial discrimination on the pitch. He's not the first, and he's not going to be the last, unfortunately. But it's about how you deal with it, and Vinny doesn't deal with it well. I'm not saying don't report. I'm not saying don't let the referee know. I'm not even saying don't call it out. Call it out. But the difference is you allow them to get to you. You allow these people to get to you, and you shouldn't. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. I remember one time, and I don't even like bringing up Barcelona players, but I have to. Dani Alves was throwing a banana. Everybody saw it. It was clear as day. You can go online and still look it up and find it. You know what he did? He picked up the banana and he ate it. Which was a good thing, because guess what? He got potassium. He got some potassium in his body during the match. So yes, there are things that we need to do as Real Madrid fans, as a Real Madrid club. Perez has a lot of work to do. And I think that and that's why I'm hearing about Jose Mourinho. I want Jose Mourinho there. I want him there. I don't want Klopp. I don't want Deschamps. I don't want Pochettino. I don't want nobody. I want Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho is the one that's going to make sure that he whips these people into shape. People want to talk about that three-peat with Zidane, but guess who was the coach before Zidane got there? Guess who set up all those players and brought in players and organized that team before Zidane got there? If you want to give somebody credit, we should also give Jose Mourinho credit for putting together that team, because Jose Mourinho was the one that went to go get Modric. Don't forget that. We wouldn't have had Modric if it wasn't for Jose Mourinho. One thing I love about Jose Mourinho, he will take the pressure off of his team. We never used to hear issues about Real Madrid, but we used to hear issues about Mourinho, but we never used to hear issues about Real Madrid.